Some people like G-Shocks because they're fashion accessories. There's lots of special editions, um, collaboration models, all kinds of different colors. And some of them are pretty expensive. A lot of the metal models can get up into the $600 range. And some of those have Bluetooth and crap like that on them that I'm never going to use. I like G-Shocks because they're an 80s icon. They're built like tanks, and they're really just a tool watch for the most part. The first G-Shock came out in 1983, and it's still the basis of most square models in design. And so there's a few models, the 5600E I've mentioned before, that I really like for the price. And I mentioned that it looks a lot like the original, but really it's the 5610 that looks the most like the original, right down to the red striping around the bezel. The GW5610-1 has been around for decades, and it's basically the original G-Shock from 1983 with solar power and radio controlled. Like, it can receive timestamps over radio frequency, and so depending where you live, depending on your location, it can actually sync up with radio frequencies, at night, and calibrate its time. So in theory, this is a watch that you never have to change the battery on, and you never have to set the time. On top of the fact it's built like a tank, it's designed to take a beating. It's 200 meters water resistance, so anything you can do in water. Like I said, the 5610's been around for decades, and I've always wanted one, but I liked my 5600E, and I think I paid like $60 for that. I ordered the watch on Amazon a few days before Black Friday. The good news is it was on sale for about $80 Canadian, which is by far the cheapest I've ever seen it. Usually goes for about $130. I've seen it on sale a few times for $110. But yeah, $80 is definitely the cheapest I've ever seen it. So that was the good news. Amazon's pictures and description both still show and mention that it has an EL, or electroluminescent backlight. But I finally picked one up and was actually disappointed to find that Casio's made a major change to this watch, and it kind of went under the radar, so a lot of people may not realize the 5610-1 is now the 5610U-1. I found an article explaining the differences, but the big difference to me is a downgrade in that they changed the electroluminescent backlight to a white LED. So instead of this smooth, even, bluish electroluminescent backlight, we've now got a single side-lit white LED. It's not as even. It doesn't have the color that I like, and I've always loved that on the 5600E for $60, getting that beautiful electroluminescent lighting. One cool model the 5610 has is if you hold down the light button, you'll get like an LT, which is like an automatic light feature where when you raise your wrist, the light will come on. Because this is solar powered, the theory is you can use the light more often, because as you use the light more often, that would normally drain the battery quicker. But in this, as the battery drains, it's not a big deal because it's just going to charge back up again as soon as you're in light. Here you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, it shows like a low, medium, high, L, M, H little display there. And, mine had dropped down to medium, and then I wore it outside, even on an overcast, wintry day. After just like an hour of being outside, it changed to H. So it charged enough to go from medium to high. There's some battery saving modes built in. The automatic light won't come on if that charge level goes below a certain point. And even I think the screen will start to turn off until you raise your wrist and it needs to show you the time if it gets to like low or a certain level within low. So there's some power saving features there. But typically if you wear this watch every day, it's going to be fully charged all the time, even if you use the light. So having that light come on automatically when you raise your wrist is a pretty cool feature that the 5600E does not have. So yeah, they recently updated the 5610. Obviously, they've improved a few things. I think you can change like the format of the date if it's showing like the month and then the day of the month, or if it's showing the day of the month and then the month, kind of like European style versus I guess American style in the way it shows the date. So you can change that to your preference, and they upgraded a couple of other small features in the maybe the alarm settings or something. But to me, the big one is the electroluminescent. That was a big factor of this watch, and that's gone. So slightly disappointed, but at the same time, it's still a cool looking watch. It still looks like that original 1983 model, and I got it cheaper than I've ever seen it before. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at these. They have changed.